Hi, I'm Gregory Perkins. I'm your instructor today for social media in the workplace. Of course, if you look up above and check out the actual PowerPoint presentation, you'll see my email address is perkinsgo@yahoo.com. This is our terminal objectives that we will be learning for today. The purpose of this session is to give business associates a better understanding of what social media is, the advantages and disadvantages of having social media platforms and creating appropriate policies to govern social media usage. Our enabling objectives will be, should you gain a definition of what social media is, you should be able to identify the different types of social media platforms and understand the advantages and disadvantages of social media. You also gain an understanding of how social media may benefit the company and have a general understanding of creating a social media policy for your agency. What is social media? Social media is a form of electronic communication such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content such as videos and such of that nature. Different types of social media platforms are Instagram and Facebook, MySpace. You're going to also have Snapchat and Skype and Kik. You also going to have Pinterest, Linked. You're going to have YouTube, of course, and you're going to have Google Plus. These are just a few, just a name that's on the actual social media that I'm familiar with. But what are the pros and cons of social media? The pros of having a social media for your workplace is because it gains and gives you free external exposure to your company. Great thing. It's easy accessibility too. If they want to purchase or buy things from you, they're able to do this right here because they can just do it and click on the mouse and there you go. They actually be right there where you need it to be. You also will be able to share information across on the platforms. They need to know about a certain product. Only thing they have to do is click and read. You also can share information such as if you have any type of problems that's dealing with one of your customers. Easy to stay in contact with those individuals as well while you're there because you can send messages back and forth and you can share these things on your social media website. Now, what are the cons of it? One, we already know that you can gain negative exposure to your actual company. Someone posts up something negative about you, the whole world will know. The whole world will see it. Then you're going to have also distractions at the workplace. You got a lot of people that like to use social media while they're at work. So you definitely going to have to worry about them being on social media. If you tell them that they're able or capable of doing social media, you're also going to have to worry about who they're talking about on social media dealing at the workplace that may cause a hostile work environment. They're also a little scared that we can have where we can have too much information shared onto social media. Of course, we have information on secret things that you may be working on at your company, new ideas and integrative things that you just come up with in a business meeting. Somebody might post that up on social media or maybe recording the whole actual meeting that you're doing, trying to come up with these things. And then that would expose what's your next cutting edge thing that you're going to do that's going to beat the competition. But if the competition already knows, you're in trouble. And then you also got to look at the illegal activity that they do. Because a lot of people like to share a lot of information dealing with your company to other people that they shouldn't do. So you have to risk that people will have access to computers, so they're going to be on computers more. And then you're going to have people that are going to be a little bit more social and computer savvy, so they'll be able to do other things such as illegal activity on your computer by taking your information, sharing information that you have, maybe even posting up saying that they're you and they're not actually. So why use social media for business? Easy. It's easy and expensive way of exposing your company, like I said before. Allow for the world to have access to you, able to operate a business virtually all over the world from the comfort of your own home. You also be able to interact with your customers more efficiently. You're able to keep in contact and have live chat. You can actually chat with them as a response of them having a question concerning a product you have. It also builds rapport with your customers. So when you have that personal connection to them, then they see a face and they can actually say, you know what, I made contact with them. Then you can reach more of your target audience while you're on social media because due to the fact that you're able to really pinpoint who's interested and who's not because they will only click on if they're interested. So how to use social media properly? First and foremost, provide professional information only. to your clients. You don't need to be sharing personal information or private information, but you just need to keep it professional and courteous. Also showing them that you're not a robot and you don't have that you do have actual feelings towards them and you really care about them when you speak with them. Gain permission to send content. Don't never allow for anyone to just be able to post up and send whatever they want on social media at any given time. This is where policy would normally kick in. You got to also place authorized images on sites, and they have to get those permissions to place those authorized images on site, such as certain things that you may have, schematics or things of that nature that you have in your company. You also have to allow for easy purchase of services. You can allow for easy purchase of services because then someone can click on it. They can use PayPal. They can use other things, Visa, MasterCard, Discovery. They'll be able to have those things because you can have that on your social media. Respond to inquiries quickly and accurately because you definitely want to be able to get to your customer's concern as quick as you can, as soon as you can, as quick as possible. And also, our favorite one that we are trying to do from the first beginning is expose our company to as many people as we possibly can. So by having social media and having people posting up things that have your logo or have things of that nature, it promotes the company. It helps build up more people. So why have a social media policy? It keeps the company information that you have private and confidential. It also helps to preserve the integrity of the company, to maintain a professional atmosphere as well, because people can also go against each other. This right here is things that you're going to need to have in order to keep that social media in a positive outlook. Also, to limit social media usage in dangerous or sensitive conditions. You don't want someone to be able to have access to their cell phones or laptops, and because you gave them permission to use it, or they got it and they said, well, I have the right to use it wherever I want to. But if there's a policy in place, then you have stipulations that actually you can enforce at your job. And you can be able to do reprimands, possibly termination if it's severe enough. But you have to have a policy in place. Virtually everyone has access or have a social media profile. This is how the world is operating now. It used to be in person. It used to be close enough personal. But now it's virtual. Everything is almost virtual. You can shop online. You can actually go and purchase anything you want online. You can actually go pick up your groceries by shopping online and going by and picking up, and they're waiting for you outside. They do this at Walmart right as we speak. It also is the new era for a rapid growth of your business. If you want your business to be exposed to as many people as possible, your community is setting up a mom and pop store may not be all that you need. You may be able to contact and get in contact with people all over the world, not just from people who passing through your town, which is very limited if you mind me saying that and being personal on that. Now, adopting a social media policy. These are the things that we need to do when we do it. We got to have a clearly defined of what is allowed on your social media. It is allowed to have certain things or is disallowed to have certain things. But that dictates according to whoever is making the actual policy. You got to give a definite time frame of what is allowed for social media usage if you're going to allow it in the first place. If you're not going to allow it, you still have to have a policy stating that you do not allow social media to take place on your actual place of business. Have a clearly defined consequence for violating policy and procedures on the use of social media on the workplace. If you don't have it clearly defined, then how can you enforce it? Because then there are loopholes that they can go through. Leave a clause that allows for a designee to determine what he or she feels is appropriate and inappropriate. So that put the power back in the hands of the boss. It's what the boss thinks that is allowed and what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. So that is that clause for your determination. Now, our conclusion for this is we should know now the definition of what social media is, and we should be able to identify some types of social media platforms. We should also have an understanding of the advantages and disadvantages of social media now. We also should know how social media can benefit our business. You can also have, and we should have a great understanding in creating a social media policy and how important that it is. These are some of the references that I took it off of. If you like to copy and go look in, some of these things I took off of the Society for Humane Resource and also social media that were retrieved.